if you're coming in from character of the main story. It's truly amazing game. I wanted to talk about today in terms of like just helping people progress. I've been in the game for a little bit, so I have a little experience, so I can say little things. Um, Really, obviously, the salt little the little Salt Bay dude, add in the Salt Bay reference. But yeah, so everyone has a different play style. So I'm simply just showing you the way I play. And yeah, 120 because I like to play the how should we call it, the Trials of Io, which is dope as hell. As you can see, I haven't done any of them yet. So for this week, and yeah, and if you look up over here, I still got to do chapter 3. So yeah, so we got a little work to do. But yeah, going back to the build that that I want to show you guys. Sorry, gamers. Now for this one, really, I mean, realistically, you can use any weapon of choice, especially with the new update, which is interesting. So now, I was doing a little bit of research because I wasn't really sure in terms of what exactly I wanted to touch on in terms of Tsushima. Tsushima is a pretty broad game, in terms of what you can, you know, uh, speak upon. So, but I heard about this new updates, and I'm gonna go back to the YouTube channels that I found these on to give credit to these guys because they did a lot of information, and I definitely got to give credit to them. And and I learned something new. So I would like to impart the same knowledge that I've learned from them to you guys. Now, apparently, there's going to be several updates, and I'm just going to briefly touch on them. The one that really caught my eye, though, is the fact that they're leaning towards more of the melee aspect of the update. And the reason why I'm saying this, which I found very, very interesting, but it makes sense considering the theme of the game. Um, they're more into they're in terms of resolve. Now, resolve is essentially what you would need in order to. And once again, I'll make more videos on these things, but this is just a generalization of the game itself. Is in order to perform an ultimate, and ultimate essentially is their highest abilities. They're like their Kamehameha of sorts. If you're a Dragon Ball fan. So yeah, so that is exactly what the resolves are for. They're used for it to proc their ultimate weapon, their ultimate attack. So apparently this update has reduced some resolves for a certain weapon, which has been very, very used or widely appreciated in terms of the metaverse of this game. Like everyone really liked the resolve that you got from this particular weapon, and I'll touch on that a little later. It's a really awesome weapon, but it's going to change the playstyle a little bit. But going to what I was touching on earlier, excuse me, is that they're leaning towards the melee, and even the melee buffs, melee gains, has updated. So now, actually, we're going to see. So as you can see, this is just my, nothing special. I seldom use um, I should say katanas for for just two, and it's not even the two that people even like to use. It's the two that people don't even, I mean, like, no one really cares to use anymore. Maybe except for one, but the other one definitely. So, so yeah. So right now, as you can clearly see, that is the max of the update. Prior to the update, it was only 10%. So since I've already had that rolled, um, now the new update, as you can clearly see, mine says uh, melee resolve gain to 10%, which was the max. Now it's at 25%, which is insane. And this is the reason why I'm making this video. So melee is going to be. Here's my theory, my take on the game. Japanese. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Japanese culture, but in terms of Japanese culture, there's definitely in terms of combat, hand to hand is definitely a thing. So I feel like this game is paying an homage to the culture itself. You know, they definitely were into, and I'm not a history buff, though I've been around, but you know, they though they have evolved in their weaponry, you know, they still, you know, show honor to the, you know, the hand to hand combat, like, you know, the personal aspect of being in combat with somebody. And I feel like this is somewhat paying an homage to that. So, you know, it seems like, you know, their Sucker Punch is really just going in order to like show that, like, look, you know, this is not a shooting game like, you know, other Tell games, like, you know, Modern Warfare or Fortnite, or, you know, any of these other, you know, first person shooting games. Like, no, this is a combat game, like, you know. So they want to lean towards the combat. So, and a lot of people have been getting a little comfortable with the shooting of the arrows. Don't get me wrong, they're amazing, but yeah. So anyway, so that's all I have to say about that. So we're gonna craft right now because, you know, obviously 25% is so much better than the measly 10% that I had. Which, once again, this was the max. Up until this recent update, this was my max build, and now it's about to be better. So you guys get the first see, you know, the first look on how I do it. So now with the new update, prior to this update, there was another update where you were able to increase your stats periodically. Now, originally, what would have end up happening, and look, so keep in mind when you're ever doing something like this, and I'm gonna go back and I will touch. If you ever see something like this, just make sure you pay attention. Just don't keep clicking. Pick the one that's going to be closest to the result. So in this case, the increased resolve property would have been 10% if I did it normally, but because it's computer generated, they gave me a one that's a little bit higher, so I don't have to spend as many honor and so on and so forth, and it just makes things easier. But now, going back to what I was saying before, prior to this update, there was it would only give you two choices, and the choices would either say keep the weapon that you have, or keep the perk that you have, or switch the perk, and you had to constantly roll until, it's like the lottery, until you found the right roll that, you know, or close to it, that, like, you know, that fit the stats that you're looking for. Now with this update, if I do it again, as you guys can obviously see now, it's a new perk, right? And then it allows you now to increase, instead of saying keep, well, it used to say keep current perk or current stats. It allows you to increase the one that you already had. So now it went from 18 to 19.2. So, like I said, melee resolve is going to be where it's at right now. If you're not a melee person, learn, but I'm going to show you ways that it'll help you in combat. So yeah, here we go. So we're just gonna totally max this out to 25 because I'm super excited to see how much damage and how quickly I can proc my ultimate. So now, as you can see, it only takes 60 to upgrade it. It takes 60. I don't remember the exact icons, but it's one of them is honor, and the other one is, I don't remember. But I will tell you exactly what they are, and I'll add them to the video so you know exactly what they are and what they do. And yeah, and then we're gonna play. Now I'm not quite sure. I haven't really decided which one I'm gonna be playing at the moment. I haven't played any of them this week, so I'm a little behind, and increased to 25, 24.8, and voila. Perfect parry, by the way. Perfect parry is pretty good. We'll do a video on that as well. But we're definitely going to go for the increased property of 25 of melee resolve. Now, just to touch on melee resolve, and this is trying to keep this short so we can play and watch, so you guys can see the gaming. You know what? Never mind. We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. Let's get into what you guys really want to see. So, as you can see right now, I'm rolling with a normal Moon Katana with the Wave of Flame, so you only can get 2 perks once you've reached 120 off the bat. If you want to get once you get 110, if you have weapons already and you're already at 110 and you want to roll it to 110, and then you just continue on to the path and making it 120. We'll touch on another video how to do that quickly. I literally just did that in a day. It was just like boom, 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 done. Because, you know, you want to get back into the game. You want to keep playing, right? Like, you know, come on. Like, you got things you got to do. You got demons you got to, like, you know, vanquish and stuff. So, so anyway, I'm rolling with just a normal Moon Katana. You know, once again, this just shows you can really roll with whatever you like. Mine's have the Wave of Flame because, you know, well, you'll see why in a moment. So yeah, now the Sugaru sight. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen many videos on it, but this gotta be by far one of my favorite bows, even above the skipping bow, simply because of the fact that with the skipping bow you have to. I mean, though there are ways to make it easier. But yeah. So anyway, this is my build right now. We're gonna do health increase, and I have a bunch of other charms we're gonna test out. You know, so you guys get a feel for it. Right now we're gonna do the kunai. Yeah, we're gonna roll with the kunai. You know, I have another particular one that I like to use. And obviously gourd. You know, with sudden resolve and strong brew because and once again resolve gain. Resolve is key. If you want to proc everything, have something with resolve to everything, and then you figure out the rest. All right. So, and now in terms of techniques, I'm going to use the Raging Flame. I'm gonna practice my Japanese. I'm gonna say this in Japanese next time. Then we got your legendary, and then you have a resolve increase because resolve is amazing, and you have Hachimi no Fury. You got the Hachimi Fury, Hachimi no Ikari. You know, there you go. That's my impersonation of that. All right, so there you go. Boom, we're done with that, and yeah, we're gonna go in to the game. I'm gonna cut it right here because it's not gonna load. All right, we're gonna cut this.